Welcome to Native Bidaské, Native News Online's weekly spotlight on the people making news and leading change in Indian country.
Good afternoon, I'm Levi Rickert, publisher, editor of Native News Online. Welcome to another edition of Native Bidaské. Today we have a very special guest, and that is President Jonathan Nezs of the Navajo Nation, and he has been president for the last 4 years, and he is leaving office next Tuesday. And I will say this before we get going, the Navajo Nation suffered greatly. It was the epicenter of Indian country for COVID-19 during the pandemic. And just figures released today by the Navajo Nation were 80,305 cases so far, 1,994 deaths. And Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nezs has navigated the one of the largest American Indian tribes in America through the pandemic. And welcome, President Nezs. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, Levi. Thank you for having me on the show. And Bennett, good morning to all your viewers.
Yes, and I understand you were at the prayer breakfast this morning. So if our viewers hear a little noise in the background, you're still on site there. So welcome to Native Bidaské. And as I mentioned, the pandemic. I was actually at a coalition of large tribes meeting 1 week before the pandemic hit, and your vice president Lizer was there, and he was talking about the preparation for COVID-19. And you guys obviously were trying to be on top of it before it even got going. Other tribes were present, and they talked about some of the initiatives. But in retrospect, after hearing that, I think back, I'm thinking, wow, we didn't even know what was going to hit and how hard it was going to hit when Vice President Lizer talked. So tell us a little bit about the preparations that you did do prior to COVID-19 hitting in March of 2020.
Well, Levi, some of the past that I've held helped me to, prepare for agencies. Being a Navajo County Board of Supervisor at one time, to see the inside of emergency preparedness for the entire country. And so when we heard the news of COVID-19, the globe in China, and as it was starting to pick up the western part of this country, Navajo Nation COVID-19 preparedness team of all the healthcare professionals and our emergency management from our tribe as well as the state, and just to monitor and get the message out, really. And we were able to use message out and to use our Navajo language to get that in those in the most rural parts of the Navajo Nation through radio. And if we were a state, Levi, I think we would have been the 49th state to get a positive case. So we did well. We did a positive case while all the states around us started to see numbers. So I think it's because of this preparedness team that we were able to virus back. But of course, we all know today that this virus is very, very sneaky, and it ended up on the country and here on the Navajo Nation as well. So we did our to get our Navajo people informed about what to do, and we also strict protocols in place, and even some of those protocols are still active today as we speak, like the mask mandate. Take this pandemic very seriously, and I know all of India, and so we're proud of our tribal leaders leaders and our public health professionals, our frontline workers throughout the country for being on the front lines, the frontline warriors, lady warriors.
Well, thank you for that answer. During this time, America really became aware of the severe problems that you have on the Navajo Nation with the lack of running water, healthy water to drink, lack of electricity. And I remember seeing you on several national programs like Prime Time. Some of those shows that were just you were a great spokesperson for the Navajo Nation. So given that, there's been millions and millions of dollars that flowed into Navajo Nation from the government, maybe other sources. Has the problem of some of the running water, lack of running water, and lack of electricity, has it been improved, or where are we right now?
I think that in the most powerful country in the world, America, some tribes still have 30 to 40% infrastructure deficiency, water, electricity, homes, living under one roof. And it is no wonder the Coakley in our communities and because of the response, not just members or tribal employees, but also outside the nation helping us, and we were able to respond quickly. Needed food and supplies to our Navajo people. At the beginning, Levi, even I think we were all, we felt it was important that our Navajo people out there in the communities to comfort them during this difficult time. And with the info that has come into tribal communities, we're able to enter into the homes, electricity into the homes, build homes, and those plans and those priority projects continue into the next administration. I think the hard work that tribal nations did, you mentioned large land-based tribes, advocating that funding from like the states based on population and lands workers, and that's how the formula was established for CARES Act, and was based on the enrolled membership, the land size, government employees were within that nation, and based on that, got a bigger piece of the allocation. And because we're such a rural community, those dollars have been utilized to bring water into the most rural parts of the Navajo Nation. And so I appreciate the administration and our congressional delegation for.
Now, you're leaving office on Tuesday. What would you say when you reflect back on your administration during the last 4 years? What were some of the best accomplishments of the Nez-Lizer administration for the Navajo Nation?
Well, of course, prayer is for us to really push back on this. The Navajo Nation prayer breakfast today, and appreciating all our, not just faith-based leaders, but everybody praying that we were able, and I think really turn it around from being one of the most here on the Navajo, the largest positive cases, to now probably one of the most vaccinated people even world. And, the response there, what we focused on was the health and well-being of our Navajo people. 3 years, and 4 years went by pretty quick. This country, including the world, slowed down things that they're doing that were their priorities, including tribal community. If there wasn't a pandemic, just imagine what this administration could do. But and we did our very, very best to push back on COVID-19 in our communities. And, I think the Navajo people and we're able to persevere. All the Indians throughout this country, I think we saw the resilience. I know we used that term a lot back at what we went through. You could put resilience with an exclamation mark. Communities did everything they could. They did their best. And you know what? They turned it around. We lost loved ones. We still have some people that are having difficulty from having the virus. But overall, all tribal nations saved many lives. And, with to our nations, we advocated at the White House saying we want those vaccines the same else receives it. And that's what happened. And, that's the power as Indian people in this country, that we have the keys to House and to Congress, and we're able to advocate for our people. Being able to visit President Biden, a great friend, my wife, great friendship with the First Lady as well. I mean, that was the network. And I think because of that network, that we really helped us during these past 4 years. And, I think our team was just very burned out. I mean, there was really no excitement into campaigning, and I wanted to get some rest, and I think we're going to all get some rest now, come January 1. So, thanks.
President Nez, did you ever personally have COVID?
No, sir. Wasn't able to, but people around me did, and I say that, and just following those protocols. Wearing your mask, just vaccine. I'm vaccinated 4 times. And just following those protocols. It's really no secret. Following those and walking the talk, really, as a leader.
Yeah, you mentioned going to the White House and being friends with President Biden, and I as a journalist, I sat back in observation of your team. You are a known Democrat, and the Vice President Levi was a Republican, or is a Republican, and tell us about that dynamic. I just thought that was very interesting. I know I talked to him about it when I was at a conference one time, and tell me your reaction to how did that work, that dynamic of you being a Democrat, he being a Republican.
Well, we are like faith. I think that really connected us here on the party system, especially Navajo politics, Navajo government. And like faith really helped me govern, have a vice president there praying for me and praying for the nation. And it really balanced out governing throughout. You recall President Trump was in office, the first part of our administration. Vice President Levi had the keys to the White House then. and now President Biden. So I think overall it really, really helped people. And I just appreciate the leadership of our Vice President. Breakfast. I wish him well. Leaving off on a good note. I know I tried for Congress. It didn't work out for him, but I see some great things in the future.
Now, during the transition, have you been able to help the president-elect Nygren? And it's going to be a smooth transition, my understanding, correct?
Well, we developed our team, and they developed the team and working on transition. We have a transition report. Matter of fact, Levi, we're going to be our full report of our 4 years. Well, really 8 years. I was vice president the past 4 years. Come Tuesday, January 10th at 12:01. So look out for that. We're gonna let what the Navajo Nation has done in partnership and collaboration with these past 4 years, and there has been a lot of, but there are still, of course, like with any government, you still have items that to change, and we wish the incoming administration today. I'll give you a preview of what I'm going to say today to those that are, they all pray for the president and vice president that should continue on, president and vice president, because we want our leaders to be successful. President-elect, president to be Boo Nygren, and vice success, because if they're successful, the Navajo people are successful in the long. I'm happy about and honored that I was able to serve 15 years total in public service, from being the vice president of the local community, a lawmaker, being on the council, being a county board of supervisor, vice president, now president. And, I think there's some opportunities for me. I moved in the right one, the one that the Lord wants for me to. Thanks.
Yes. And when you and I saw each other in Washington, you whispered to me that it looks like the Navajo people went with the youthful person. So, and then he is the youngest president. The president-elect is the youngest president.
Right.
Will be the president youngest. But you're not actually an old man. So you're 47, as I recall. So tell us this: what's in your future?
Yeah, these Levi, and weighing those opportunities, of course, or the highest paying one, or you know what I mean. With the information that I was able to be blessed with public service, and if it means helping another tribe, I'm open to that. Running for a state position or a federal position, I can't say no to these opportunities, but of course, I'll continue to pray. We'll see, and Levi, you'll be the first to know. Go.
Well, thank you, sir. We love that. Well, listen, I want to thank you and Chi McGwitch from Michigan, from a journalist, a Potawatomi man, that I've been observing you, and navigating through that pandemic was not easy for anybody. And we saw that with the governors, we saw it with tribal chairman, and you as president of the Navajo Nation. Chi McGwitch, for your commitment and service to the Navajo Nation. And I'm sure many of the people on the Navajo Nation are very grateful for your time. And thank you for coming on Native at Goshaway today. We really appreciate it. So, any last words?
Well, yeah, let me just add this, Levi. I want to say thank you to you as well. I know the message out to our folks in Indian country, all over, what nationality, regarding the pandemic, getting the news out, power, and we want our constituents to know what's happening, governments throughout the country. And transparency is very important. That's how we led here on the Navajo Nation. I have my communication director is sitting right next to me, Jerry. I know some people mention photo ops and this and that, but I want to just say, in presidency, first time ever, you embrace social media. They knew what their president was doing, and Levi, you were part of that. We got over the world, and with your news outlet, we were able to inform them, and you all lives. I know it. So thank you so much, Levi.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your kind words. And to our viewers, thank you, Chi Miigwech, for tuning in to another episode of Native Bidaské. We will be back next week. And in the meantime, have a safe week and be safe.
If you appreciate what we do here at Native News Online, we invite you to donate to support our continued work covering Indian country. You can scan this code with your smartphone or go to the link located below this video to donate today. We greatly appreciate your support. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And be sure to scan this code or go to the link below to subscribe to our newsletter. Thank you for joining us today, and please be sure to join us again next week for another episode of Native Bidaské. Chi Miigwech.